Okay, and we're back with round 3 with Tezzerator, and we are on the draw. And this hand, let's see, I could actually do turn 1 Inquisition off the Spire. So I think I kind of like that since I got Inquisition and Brutality and the Ensnaring Bridge. So I think I will try keeping it, although it's not amazing. A whir or piece of the Thopter Sword I would kind of prefer, especially it looks like this is probably burn. Yep, it's burn. Well, at least the Inquisition and Brutality should be really good here. Unfortunately, we do have to pay some life. But small price to pay. Do I want to take the Atarka's command? I think I'm going to do that so that I have the Brutality available next turn. I'll probably plan to pitch this Opal and maybe another card if they play a creature. It looks like they're not, so I'm just going to pitch the Opal and do Brutality for 2 modes. Unfortunately, I'll probably cast the Bolt in response, but Searing Rage will eventually be live, so don't mind hitting that. Do I want to just pay a life and get a black mana? I don't think so, because I want to be able to get a Watery Grave a bit later. So I think I'll pay the 1 life through Spire to cast this. Assume they will cast Bolt here. Yep. Okay, well, I don't feel too bad about them being down to no burn spells, just to land in hand already. I do need a little, a little something to do here. Thopter Foundry is a great start. And the question is, do I want to... I guess there's no need to run out the Ensnaring Bridge yet. Though I don't love the idea of having to take another damage off the Thopter Foundry. I think I will have to do it. I didn't play the Ensnaring Bridge because it won't actually stop a haste creature yet, because I'd be left with 2 cards in hand. So more and more now that I'm watching out for how often I would rather this Academy of Ruins be a Darkslick Shores, I'm kind of feeling more and more like that is what I actually want it to be in the future. It's not very often that I really feel a need to put an artifact back on top, because Whir usually just lets me search for redundant copies. So I think being able to search for redundant copies is a bit better than being able to Academy of Ruins something back. Although it is nice when you're able to do it. The question is, do I want to fetch here and go down to 6? Puts me into potential burn range next turn, so I think I'm actually going to hold off. Alright, that's a bit better. Turns on the Opal as well as making me immune to creatures now. And I can always cash in something like the Bauble or even the Opal for life, for just 1 life. The other option is I could crack the Bauble to try to draw into a Sword of the Meek. But I think in this case, I'm just going to leave it uncracked for now. Play this. I don't think it's going to hit anything. Maybe a Searing Blaze. Maybe a Skullcrack. Yeah. Okay, well they've got no cards in hand. So again, the big question is, do I want to crack this bauble to have an extra shot at getting Sword of the Meek? That probably is better than being able to turn it into a creature and gain a life. And because I have the Delta untapped or uncracked, I can also think I might bauble myself. And I can also always crack this Delta if I don't like what I see. It will put me into lethal, which might mean cashing in. So another bauble. So I think I'm going to crack this Delta, and if I have to cash in the Opal, that's not really a big deal to stay alive here if he's got a Lightning Bolt. I think it's my best shot at winning because I really need a Sword of the Meek. Fiddly Needle, not a very good draw. Although it will let me, I guess, I can always turn it into a 1 life. Let's see, I could go up to 5. I think I'm going to play it out, just so it's out there. I don't think me being able to gain 1 life instead of 2 is going to be very relevant. Other than this does put me dead to Double Bolt. Because I won't be able to, if I sack something, I won't be able to sack again in response. Might as well just pick Bloodstained Mire, even though he's already spent 2. He doesn't really need more lands. Nothing else it's really going to do. I guess Grim Lavamancer, but I don't see that played in the main of Burn very often anymore now that Infect's kind of gone. Oh, really need that Sword of the Meek. Need it real bad. Okay. Now do I want to... The question here is, do I want to take something out of its hand or just drain for 2? I guess if I hit something, that gets me more life because it's probably worth 3 damage instead of 2. However, if he has instants, he can just play them out, and then if he has 2 instant speed burn spells, I'm dead anyway. I don't really know which mode is better right now. I guess Drain, given that I know he's got, or I've got the sword on top, maximizes the ability to survive. I should not have hit F1 there. Oh well, I think I was probably... Good chance I was just dead anyway. I should have sacked a bunch of things in response. But if he top decks any burn spell, I'm dead. So, stupid error on my part, but might not have mattered. Okay, so for sideboarding, we want Trinisphere, Abrupt Keys maybe, Relic's gone, Pithing Needle's gone. I definitely want all my swords and Thopter Foundries because they are really good in this matchup. Maybe we'll just cut an Abrupt Decay. Yeah, I don't have a ton to board in here. My main deck is usually pretty good against them, unless I do something stupid again. Okay, so on the play, this looks pretty good. We've got pretty much everything we could want. We've got the ability to turn 3 Whir for the sword. I don't think I'm going to crack this bauble yet because my plan is just Thopter Foundry then Whir. So it gives me, if something goes wrong, it gives me more options, more artifacts that I can just cash into Thopter Foundry if he, say, Destructive Revelry something. Okay, so do I want to play the Pentad Prism? Does that get me any further ahead? Because I basically would just have to spend all the mana from it anyway right away. So I don't think it does anything particularly great for me. And I think I'd rather Whir for sword than Inquisition. Even if he Destructive Revelries my Thopter Foundry, I think I'd still kind of want to Whir for Inquisition, or for Sword of the Meek. So here I'm going to Whir in response, just so if it's something good on top, I'm not shuffling it away. Kind of how a lot of people crack fetch lands in response. Inventor's Fair is quite good here. Quite good. Great card to get incremental advantage here. I'm going to Inquisition since it's worth more than 1 life that I'd be using this mana for making Thopters. I think I'll take the better of them. And given that I saw that, I'm just going to make a bunch of these now since there's no reason to wait. Should I keep 1 open just to protect from Destructive Revelry? I don't think so. I don't think it's worth it. Especially having the second, another Whir in hand. So if he does Destructive Revelry, Thopter Foundry, he's not attacking for anything. I'm only taking 2, and I can still Whir for another one right away. Still not going to bother cracking the bauble. Now that I've got the Thopter, the combo online, I just don't really need to. So he's got 2 of these in hand. So I'm just going to make a bunch of Thopters in response. The nice thing about this deck is you generally Skullcrack Atarkas are only preventing 1 of your life gains since everything gains 1 at a time. So there we go. We do quite well on the play, and hopefully we can survive and win game 3. So any changes we will make to the sideboard for game 3? I don't think so. I think everything here is pretty solid. Nothing else here is that amazing, so I'm just going to run it back. So this hand is, I think just too slow. We'll be able to draw a bunch of cards because we can Serum Visions and Bauble, but I think, given that we don't have either half of Thopter Sword or a Whir right now, I think we want mulligan. We unfortunately get punished pretty hard on the mulligan. I don't think we want to risk keeping this. A land or a 0-drop artifact do kind of get us into the game. They both act as a land. We do have a scry and a draw, but I think I just have to mulligan this. Okay, I think I have to keep this, although now I'm wishing I kept the previous one. But this is maybe better, since we at least have 1 land. Although these lands are... I think I have to put it on the bottom. Do I need to? I think I'm going to put it on top. I'm not going to be able to really... yeah, it's awkward. I'm probably going to have to just play the sword on turn 2, which is good. We do get paid off for putting the land on top here. But we're going to have to take some damage. Okay, that's a little bit better. So I'm going to start with this. Just so if I draw like a Dark Slick Shores, I can have colored mana available without any life cost. Alright, so we're drawing lots of lands. Let's see. We might have a shot here if his hand is just a little bit slow. So here, if I just run out sword, next turn, okay, so what's the difference if I run out sword versus prism here? Prism, I take 1. Then next turn I can play sword for no life and whir for 2, as long as I don't get destruction for Revelreed. If I play prism and sword, I have to take 1, and then next turn I have to take 2 to be able to whir for Thopter Foundry. So I think it's best just to... Oh, I can't even... That's right. I can't get colored mana there. So I think I'm going to have to just run this out. And next turn... I guess next turn I can pay 1 life to make 2 colors with the prism, and then use those 2 counters, pay another life to whir for Thopter Foundry. So hopefully his hand's a little bit slow, and that's good enough to get there. The combo is really good against burn, although sometimes, usually it's very close. You know, you tend to get it online and untap when you're at just a handful of life. So it's so easy for them to get an aggressive start and just kill you before you can get it online. Although here I think it's looking okay for us. Certainly got a shot here. We're not just dead. Though it's going to be very close if we survive. So I play that. Now here I am going to wait to end step, on his end step, use the whir if I survive long enough. Which I do not. Is there anything I can whir for? Fortunately, he's got 3 cards in hand. I'm probably just dead a dozen different ways. I can no longer whir this turn, so he has to have all blanks. Given that he cracked his fetch land right away, assuming he's got something. Yeah, there's nothing I can do here. Well, that's burn. Maybe if I hadn't screwed up game 1, there's a small chance we could have won that one, but I think we were just a tiny bit too slow. So we'll see you in round 4.